Hello and welcome to another segment of Interviews That Matter. I'm your host Raj Mehta. Friends, in this segment we bring those guests who influence our lives. This includes elected officials, policy makers, heads of major organizations and other dignitaries. It is my sincere hope that the knowledge brought in by these guests will help our community. Yoga and meditation is an important part of our life. June 21st is the International Yoga Day declared by the whole world. Today we have such guest who is a meditation trainer for over 40 years. His name is Kamlesh Patel. Kamlesh Patel is part of an organization called Heartfulness. Let's meet Kamlesh and learn something from him. Kamlesh bhai.
Namaskar, sir.
Namaskar.
Pranam.
Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
I really appreciate and I'm honored to have you here on the show. I from the heart, I'm telling this.
I feel quite honored to your show as well, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
So normally, what we do is we begin with the background of the guest. And I know you have a very interesting the spiritual journey that you have started at a very early age. So we really want to go through your journey and kind of insert ourselves there. So let's start with your spiritual journey.
I started very early in my life, very early.
Mm-hmm.
I would say, as long as I remember,
Mm-hmm.
maybe around 7 or 8. But then the actual turn took place when I was about to leave my home in 1976.
Mm-hmm.
Just in the month of May or June, I don't recollect now. One fine morning, after being so impressed by reading, Ramakrishna Paramahansa's biography, and
Mm-hmm.
also moved that he could achieve so much
Mm-hmm.
with his innocence and love for his goddess Kali.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to pursue that path. So I decided one fine morning, let's go now. This world, I think it is fruitless if I want to achieve that. So I took off, and my village nearby, we have a river, Narmada river, and there are plenty of temples there. So I thought, I might be able to find someone who can guide me. So one temple was there, and there was a group of sannyasis. They are all Agori Babas. Narmada river is full, a lot of Shiva temples are there, and
Mhm.
people who do yatra on those, they call it parikrama. And there were about, I would say, 9 or 10 Agori Babas, and one leader was there, the elder. So I met him. By the afternoon, he saw my intentions. He said, "Bete, yahan mat raho, tum ghar chale jao.
Hmm.
Don't be with us. You please go, return back to your home. You can achieve whatever you are aspiring for in your very house itself." I made a mistake. Now I am 70 plus. I cannot go back to my home. Nobody will recognize me. And even now, I have not have even a glimpse of God,
Hmm.
let alone peace.
Hmm.
And he gave me a really good advice, and by the evening time I was back home. Within a month, a friend of mine, when he was, he used to watch me meditate now and then.
Mm-hmm.
He said, "Kamlesh, why are you wasting your time with all this? Who is teaching you this meditation?" I said, "I'll just following Swami Vivekananda's footsteps.
Mm-hmm.
Though I cannot contact him, he is no more in this world. But I read his literature and do whatever little I can from his books." So it's okay, you need a guru or some guide in order to pursue your spiritual path. So he said in a very slang words, "Let's go to one person. She will put you in trance right away." I said, "Who is this person? She?" He said, "These are the trainers of this particular organizations who have the ability to transmit the yogic essence, yogic power. They call it transmission. In Sanskrit, it's known as pranahuti."
Mm-hmm.
I said, "Why not? Nothing wrong. I mean, nothing wrong trying it.
Mm-hmm.
I've been doing it on my own. maybe somebody can guide me better.
Mm-hmm.
So I ended up going to see that person in Ahmedabad only, see.
Mm-hmm.
Very pious Grihastha lady. It must be in her late 50s. And she said, she first asked me, why do you want to meditate? I said, I want to become like, those great giants like Swami Vivekananda. I like to take off one day,
Mm-hmm.
and serve our country, at the same time learn from our people.
Mm-hmm.
So the ideal is good. Then she quoted me one of her beautiful, I would say very smilingly, she said, in Hindi, क्या ईश्वर जंगल में ही रहता है क्या? वो तो सब जगह है. It touched my heart. See, that God is not a jungle dweller. If He is everywhere, you can find Him wherever you are.
Right.
So that appealed my logic.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, since you are so interested, come sit with me. We'll meditate together.
Mm-hmm.
So I sat. The very first meditation session I had with this person was extraordinary. Something that made me feel, yes, you have arrived home. Something that made me say, oh, you have reached your master. You have reached your guide. After the meditation session was over, she tapped my knee and said, bas kijiye, bas kijiye. She had to take me out, bring me back to my awareness.
Wow.
I was absolutely in trance in the very first session.
Wow.
And she herself started crying. Aaj to hamara bhagya khul gaya. My luck has suddenly opened up having you here. So this turning of table appealed me so much. Oh, there's so much to achieve, and this experience is so profound, and this lady is so humble. Then she revealed about herself, who she was. She is just an ordinary Grihastha lady, wife of an Orthodox Marwadi family. She said she learned all these things from her guru, from Shahjahanpur, all this technique of transmission and all that. He is the pioneer of all these things. And he had learned it from his guru. You know how the traditions of gurus are in India.
Right.
They don't charge anything. It just flows free.
Right.
And I was happy with that. And since then I've been meditating. Since 1976, August, I came across her. And then within a year, I had the opportunity of being face to face with the person who established this particular organization called Sri Ramchandra Mission. The path is known as Sahajmarg, now taking its movement further under Sahajmarg spirituality movement, under the banner of Heartfulness meditation.
So, in your family, I mean, when you grew up, right, you had brothers, sisters?
Yes, one brother and 3 sisters.
Okay, so like you were 5.
Correct.
And out of 5, you are the only one who had this hunger of meditation or something like that. Or like, I mean, you must have got some, I mean, how did you think about it? That's what I'm saying.
I think our childhood samskars were of all my, my family members, they're somehow oriented into this sort of things. As long as I remember from very early age, I mean, everybody would sit together and listen to Ramayana. Village life those days, under a lantern, you turn on the lantern by 8 o'clock and you start reading Ramayana, Mahabharata, and whole street would assemble around your house, and this was a daily saga in our family. So the samskars, as they say, they were poured in from very early age. No doubt, after 76, till 78 or so, nobody started this particular meditation, because ours is an Orthodox family where so much of puja goes on morning, evening. And spiritual thing, I think it's not a cup of tea of an ordinary religious person.
Right.
See, religion is all about dogmas and beliefs. Nothing wrong with it. Absolutely fine. But when it comes to spirituality, you have to depend on your own inner radar.
Mm-hmm.
You see. When we say, ask a question like, do you believe in God? Most religious people say yes.
Mm-hmm.
See. Atheists would end up saying, no, I don't even believe in godly existence. Let's not talk about it. They become very angry, you see. And I do respect their opinion on both sides. But both sides do not impress me either. When you say God doesn't exist, fine. I can only sympathize and say, okay, you don't believe it because you have not experienced.
Right.
I can only sympathize with you.
Mm-hmm.
With people who believe in God, I think I have more sympathy for them, because this belief is, I think it needs some sort of a backing. You see, when you ask a child, I believe in God, why do you believe in God? The immediate answer would be, my father said so, or my mother said so. If you ask teenagers or people in 30s and 40s, our sastras talk about it, our tradition speaks about it.
Mm-hmm.
And if you ask a grand lady or a grand person, man or woman, grandfather or grandmother, it's, oh, why are you asking such a stupid question?
Mm-hmm.
They'll get angry for asking a question if you believe in God. See?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But none of them would come up with an answer that I believe in God because of my personal experience.
Mm-hmm.
Rare people.
Mm-hmm.
So knowledge is good, which is all about religion. But when we enter the field of spirituality, where experiences are made possible, then you can say, yes, behind this knowledge, experience is backing it now. See, almost like this currency we talked about earlier. Currencies need some sort of a backing.
Mm-hmm.
You see, national wealth
Mm-hmm.
in the form of minerals
Mm-hmm.
or
Mm-hmm.
gold or petroleum, or strong government stability is there.
Mm-hmm.
Country can have so many things, but the political thing is at unrest. The currency will deflate.
Mm-hmm.
It will devaluate.
Mm-hmm.
Likewise, the knowledge which is there, God is there, fine. But if the backing of the experience is lacking, this knowledge becomes very weak.
Mm-hmm. So, I meet a lot of young people, and I talk to a lot of young people, and they're always like, they believe in what is scientifically proven, or, like I cannot touch or I cannot feel it. So why do I believe something?
Yes.
So what is your answer to them? Because, I don't have an answer, to be honest with you.
Well, I sympathize with them also, because, and I like that spirit. Unless and until I can experience, how can I believe it?
Right.
I like that logic.
Mm-hmm.
I like to build a bridge between science and spirituality.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I wish that every young mind or heart would experiment with this and come to one's own conclusion once and for all, that it is or it is not.
Mm-hmm.
You see, in science, we start with the hypothesis that this plus this, or this combining with this, will produce either this or that.
Right. Right.
And at the end of it, if you prove it is there or it is not that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Similarly, let's begin with the hypothesis that God is there or God is not there.
Right.
We start with this experiment. At the end of it, we prove once and for all conclusively
Mm-hmm.
that it is there or not there.
Mm-hmm.
We like to offer that to all young minds and hearts. Not by convincing them logically,
Mm-hmm.
but actually going through this process, through the thorough experiment. Young minds, they are the scientists. Your heart is your laboratory. When you do the experiment, run the experiment within your heart, you are the judge of that experiment. You are the result of that experiment.
Mm-hmm.
See? The beautiful thing about all these things is, even when they are convinced,
Mm-hmm.
you have to convince the other. Because
Right.
no amount of conviction an individual has is transferable.
Right. Right.
You know the reason? Most things can be transferred, most knowledge can be transferred, except this particular science.
Right.
One can only inspire.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The person who would like to actually actualize this knowledge through experience has to have a scientific approach.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, it becomes a blind faith, which religion demands.
Right. Right.
Science has to have reproducible results again and again. It's not enough that this experiment produced such and such a result in one person. We like to see that it produces similar results in multiple individuals. You see, I have this approach. Okay, you know how in pharmaceutical sciences they invent medications. Each molecule is tried and tested against the placebo. Let's see, molecule A is there. If you want to study its efficacy as an analgesic or a headache medicine, the results are compared with a placebo. If the results of this new molecule A is comparable only to the extent of 50% results of placebo, that means the A molecule is not active. I mean, it is not as good as placebo.
Right.
Okay. But if this A molecule is going to relieve the headaches to the 90% of people instead of just 50% as found with placebo therapy, then you would believe that yes, A is good in curing headaches.
Right.
At the same time, we also study the side effects are not there. See, this drug can be effective, but the side effects are there, then it's useless. We have to drop that molecule. Likewise, here with this spiritual aspect of our meditation, now one can meditate with whatever method, pleasant to one's own fancy ideas, whatever it is, do it that way, fine. Then we give you a method. You meditate with this particular method, meditating on the presence that already exists in your heart. This is an hypothesis of presence of divinity in your heart. Fine. The third experiment we do, we run, is this meditation on the presence of divine entity or the light within the heart, but now with transmission, yogic transmission. Compare 3 results. And see it for yourself. What results this particular meditation can bring about in your heart. I don't like to discuss the results of it, otherwise I will taint the results of it, and I will be somehow spoiling the I would say the results. I don't want to give stimulus to your mind and say, okay, the results will be such and such. You be the judge. You find the results, you see.
So one has to experience, or one has to do that, right? You know, in order to do that, I mean, they need to get encouragement to get this experience, and that's where the trick is actually.
That is true, sir. And it's very simple. I can give you the phone number or my personal email address. You can write to me when you want to try this experiment out.
Okay.
We can. I can give it to you if you like it now or later.
Sure. Yeah, you can give it to us.
Okay. My email address is at Kamlesh, Kamlesh, at srcm.org. It's my personal address. You can send me any queries and just tell me at such and such a time you'll be sitting at home and meditating. So I'll sit with you wherever I am, and we'll meditate like that. Or we have so many hot spots, meaning the many places all across US. I would say almost 250 to 300 centers are there, where we have personal trainers. They can either you can go to them, or they can come to your place, and you can meditate together with the help of this yogic transmission, and see it for yourself that if it helps you understand the whole concept of spirituality, if it appeals to you. See. Very interestingly, the religion and spirituality, though they are, something like a spectrum of light, the spectrum of consciousness. Similarly, there is a spectrum of approach to divinity. Religion is one end of the spectrum.
Right.
You see, where we begin with knowledge, we begin with doctrines, we begin with beliefs.
Right.
Then we actualize this in the field of spirituality,
Mhm.
in the
Mhm.
form of experience.
Mhm.
Then we further go from, after all, what is meditation? Meditation is thinking about one object.
Mhm.
You see.
Mhm. Mhm.
In spiritual meditation, we are thinking on presence of divine light.
Right.
Now, it must move from thinking to feeling.
Right.
You see, merely thinking of love
Mhm.
is not going to take me anywhere. But the day I start feeling that love,
That's the key.
it's a next step.
Right. Right.
You see. So, feeling the presence of divinity within me surpasses the thinking of divine.
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
And a stage must come, this feeling must become permanent affair in my life. That I'm always connected with that. See?
Mhm.
That's what yoga truly means.
Mhm.
This international yoga days and all that, where people are so fascinated with the hatha yoga and asanas and all kind of stuff,
Right.
which is too superficial. It is only asanas.
Mhm.
If you see the whole chart, just like we have periodic table in chemistry.
Mhm. Mhm.
There's so many elements, so many properties are there.
Mhm.
Likewise, if we combine the yogic shastra, the fundamental, there are four fundamental things, which is what we call sadhana chatusthaya, which starts with discrimination or viveka. Underneath, there are 6 steps. Underneath, there are 2 steps. Underneath, furthermore, there are so many steps, altogether 35 steps,
Mhm.
leading to samadhi.
Mhm.
Okay.
Mhm.
Preceding to samadhi is meditation. Okay. Preceding to all that, according to Ashtanga Yoga,
Mhm.
is asana. Asana is a very small step in the whole gamut of yoga shastra.
Mhm.
And we put so much of emphasis on this, which is saddening actually.
Mhm. Mhm.
Actual yoga, what is the definition? Yoga means to join. Yad jyuti iti yogaha. That's what Shastra says. Now, what is to be joined? What is the meaning
Spirit
of?
and mind.
Let's study religion. What is religion? Religion.
Mhm.
Religion is a word derived from ligar.
Mhm.
Ligar means to join,
Mhm.
to rejoin. So religion, yoga, technically they both have the same meaning, same purpose.
Mhm.
Okay. Something that joins my lower self with higher self, my Atman with Paramatman.
Mhm.
Simply put, if when the drop of the water falls in the ocean,
Mhm. Mhm.
it becomes the ocean.
Mhm.
There is no drop left to talk about
Right.
itself.
Right.
That way, when the Atman merges in Paramatma,
Mhm.
that state is known as yoga. Right? Now, the samadhi state that we all are aspiring for without understanding what samadhi means, samadhi often in general public is understood as a zombie state.
Mhm.
Samadhi, you don't feel anything, or you don't have any thoughts.
Mhm.
It's a
Right.
very poor understanding of samadhi.
Oh, is that?
Yeah.
That's not a meditation then.
No. So, in Patanjali Yoga Shastras,
Right.
samadhi is called pasana tulya, like a stone, stone-like state.
Right.
It is not correct. Okay?
Mhm.
Samadhi, if you split this word, adi, it's a Sanskrit word.
Right.
Sam means similar to.
Right.
Adi means that prevailed before the creation. What brought creation into existence was imbalance.
Mhm.
There was perfect balance prior to creation. So, when we have achieved such a state inside ourselves,
Mhm.
similar to what prevailed before the creation, absolute balance within,
Mhm.
that is samadhi.
Mhm.
It has nothing to do with thoughtlessness or a stone-like condition. It is precisely you have a 360-degree view of everything.
Mhm.
That is, I would call samadhi.
Mhm.
In the words of Swami Vivekananda, again I can say,
Mhm.
he said the pursuit of all the spiritual practices is only one. The goal of why we pursue all these things. He said we all have some consciousness. Some people use 2% of it, some people use 8% of it. Very rare indeed would use 12 to 14%, very rare.
Mhm. Mhm.
The pursuit and purpose of this yoga or any spiritual practice is to expand this available consciousness that we have into the sky of super consciousness, reach those infinite heights of super consciousness through meditation, and allow this available consciousness to dive deeper into the depths of oceans of subconsciousness. So this available consciousness, it should soar higher into spirituality through meditation and should go deeper into the subconscious. This is through meditation and this is through yoga nidra.
Oh, okay.
So slowly and slowly and slowly you can go on expanding your consciousness until you, it's an infinite process actually. It goes on and on and on. See, we believe that God is infinite, right?
Yep.
So when the nature of God is infinite and when you want to become like that divinity in essence, there will never be a full stop and say, this is it, I achieved it. Because that itself is infinite.
Right.
So that's the beauty of, I would say, spiritual practice, where if it can help you with the expansion of consciousness, then it is worth it. If it is only going to make you believe in something which is invincibly inflexible, that I believe only in this and nothing else, then we have fixated ourselves, we have contracted our consciousness into certain dogmas and certain beliefs which is so hard core and so restrictive.
Right. Yep.
That unfortunately is the affair today with most religions. My God is better than your God.
Right, yeah.
And because of this, so many wars.
Problems in the world, you know.
And the heartaches, even in some families, you know, daughter marrying this guy with another religious person, I mean, it creates such a havoc.
Right. Now let's talk about the organization that you are, you have found, Heartfulness. So obviously, the focus of the organization is meditation by heart. Now there are different kind of meditations, that are being taught. Like, there's a Krishna meditation, there's a Vedanta has defined as different type of meditation, and you just mentioned about Patanjali, So what is the difference between heartfulness meditation versus the others?
Well, I can speak about heartfulness in details.
Okay, let's do that.
Number one, when the idea of meditation is to move from thinking to feeling.
Right. Okay.
And when I'm so much interested in feeling the presence of divinity, is it wiser to think that, oh, let me meditate on my liver to feel the divinity? Or let me meditate on my tip of the nose? Or let me meditate on my forehead? Or let me meditate on top of my head? Or let me meditate on a lamp outside myself to feel the divinity outside myself? So I think there is no other better organ than the heart. It's a seat of feelings. And if the idea is to feel and experience God, divinity, then heart is the only organ where one can focus and say, yes, my Lord, at your terms, not at my terms. I'd like to feel your presence in myself. Okay. If you want the backing of Shastras, who other better person than Lord Krishna can tell you where to meditate? After showing his Vishwarupa Darshan in Gita, discourse is there where at one point when Arjuna says, no, I will not fight, Lord tells him many reasons, logically argues with him. This is your battle. See? I cannot convince you. Now let me show you the situation. the entire thing. He reveals himself and also shows him the future. That this is all, whatever, all these things that happen. Now you just have to do the thing. Take. Even then he is not convinced. Only after Lord Krishna shows him his true form, then he said, please come down to your, the usual form. This is too horrifying for me. I cannot see you like this. Please come back to the friendly form. And then he's so much convinced with all that. Then one of the final questions, fortunately he asked for the posterity and for people like us, that Lord, you have shown me all these things. But in the future, when the world will want to know the right path, how will they know you? How will they feel your presence?
Right.
So Lord tells him very simply, Hridayame pashyasi, look myself in your heart. Even Upanishads talks about the value of the heart. The science today, when you study so many scientific evidences which are popping up everywhere, they say heart is the best organ in our human system for various reasons. It's not only the feeling or emotional seat, but it is also a super brain. It has its own nervous system. Most striking difference I find between heartfulness meditation and other meditations, here there is a help of transmission, yogic transmission we call pranahuti. You compare the meditation without and with, then you see the results. Then we don't have to explain what this pranahuti is all about.
Right.
Third feature with this is, in the morning meditation we charge ourselves with this pranahuti and meditate, right? In the evening we have similar meditation but with a different technique which unwinds ourselves. We come back home tired, but when you do this meditation you are somehow rejuvenated with this particular rewinding ourselves meditation. Third striking difference I see, that the results are immediate. This is not something you wait for 10 days later or 10 years later or 10 lives later. The results are immediate for you to deduce from it, see, that yes, if I'm on the right track or a wrong track. See, that's immediate. Fourth thing I have found very interesting with the recent results we have done experiments with, the Harvard results of one practice, mindfulness meditation, where they had experimented with EEG readings of, I would say, a few hundred monks who meditated for more than 10,000 or 15,000 hours, and how they could go into delta state. EEG, electroencephalogram of the, they measure the electromagnetic field of the brain pattern. Right? It is actually a sleep study, but it is now extrapolated into various consciousness studies also now. So delta wave is seen right away with people who have meditated for 10,000 hours on an average in their lifetime. With this heartfulness meditation, right from the first day of meditation, moment the transmission reaches you, the same day, same moment, there will be a shift in this consciousness to delta immediately.
So, but you should know how to do it.
No, not necessary. You should be open to it, that's all. Open to receiving this particular transmission. You should be willing to experiment with this transmission. People are there, trainers are there everywhere. You can reach us via email, or you can visit our www.heartfulnessorg and just follow the process how to receive this transmission. It's very simple, sir. Very, very simple.
Can we do an experiment here?
Well, yes and no. I would do something little better without transmission. I would just modify this Patanjali's, one of the asanas, and put you into a different state only through relaxation without using transmission.
Okay.
Which will be hardly about less than 2 minutes.
Okay.
And this relaxation can be done anywhere at any time, office or during, if you are even waiting for order in the restaurant. Just can chill and then say, okay, let me relax. This is a very simple method.
Okay.
Okay. And you can try the same thing on others also. The way I'm going to give you commands. The same commands you can apply on others, and they can teach to others also. This is very simple. Just try to. It's easy to remember.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Just sit normally like this. Okay. Just loosen your feet and wiggle your toes. Think that the energy from Mother Earth is entering your system through your feet. It's relaxing your feet. Let this energy move upward into your ankles and lower legs. Let it move upward into your calf muscles and see they are getting relaxed. Your knees and your thighs and your hip. Now feel your entire back is relaxing. Let this energy move in front to your abdominal muscles and chest area. Let this energy move into your shoulders. See, they're melting away, becoming lighter. This energy flow down to your biceps and elbow and your wrist, your palm area and your fingers. See, your neck muscles are relaxing now. This energy move upward. Facial muscles are also relaxing. Eyebrows and eyelids are gently, softly closed. Your earlobes are relaxed. So it's top of your head. Now you see from top to toe, the entire body. Just scan it and see how it's fully relaxed. So this is a preliminary step prior to meditation. After this, one can slowly bring the attention towards the heart and prayerfully request for this transmission that we talked about. So, how do you feel, sir?
I really feel good. Makes a difference.
Yeah.
It was amazing. As you gave command, it just kept on going. Yeah.
I've seen this, sir, even to small children we teach 4 years, 5 years.
Wow.
In schools, they feel so good. Their focus in class increases manifold.
Right.
And there's so much of peace. And we have started this in some schools in China, in Madagascar, in Belarusia, some schools in USA also, Catholic schools. On an average, we are starting almost, I would say, about 6,000 to 7,000 students a day.
Oh yeah,
teaching them every day. We have huge force now developing in India, just teaching this 2-minute relaxation. So this is known statistics. Now, when you teach to some other people, and they teach to others, we don't know how this thing is going on. So it is wonderful to see how a very simple yogic process can make a difference.
But see, it's like that. When you give command versus me giving command, there may be a difference.
Sir?
Like for example, when you say, then it definitely affects.
You try it. You be the judge.
Yeah.
You give commands to other.
Okay.
And see if the other person feels it or not.
Okay.
Or when you give self commands to yourself and go through it.
Okay.
And if you like, you can also download one of our applications, Sahaj Connect, SAHAJ Connect.
Okay.
It has these commands.
Oh yeah. Oh okay.
So you can make use of it. Meditation is something else, though, which is a process for about 20 to 25 minutes.
This is the relaxation before the meditation. Before the meditation, right? Yeah.
And that's when transmission comes, and it takes you to a different heights altogether. And I wish that all practice this, and make it a lifestyle out of it.
What time is required for meditation? Like every day, if somebody wants to do every day.
For me, I find it before leaving home. It's just the right time to meditate.
How many minutes? Like 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, or what?
You can start with 10 minutes.
10 minutes?
And slowly increase it to your liking.
Oh, okay. Yeah. If one wants to join the Heartfulness organization, the centers, you said 250 centers in the country,
USA,
in USA, they're all on the website?
They're all in the website.
They're all on the website. All they have to do is contact one of those where close to you.
Or just request by emails and say, okay, who is in? Or if the person is not there in your city, or even if that person is there in your city and you don't want to go because of many reasons, you don't have a transport, or you are not just able to go out, or you're not in the mood to go. Just send an email that I would like to receive this transmission. I like to sit with you and meditate, but I cannot come. Would you please consider giving me a transmission from wherever you are? So somebody will arrange it.
Oh, okay.
Definitely.
For all religions, no changes.
So meditation and yoga
is something.
It's neither. There is no religion nor spiritual.
Nothing.
It is just the path of self-awareness. It's all about consciousness. It has nothing to do with this God or that God. Whatever you do will become better. Okay. As a student, I found that yes, my studies improved. As a businessman, I knew I was being guided all the time from within myself. You see, when you have too many choices and you have to filter through and say, okay, what is good for me? It just emerges from within your heart that just do this. It's pretty simple, I would say, and very effective.
I think, one has to really experience it, as we talked about before.
True, true.
And once you start doing it and experience it, then you continue to do that. I mean,
Sure.
then you realize the value, right? Obviously,
True. More benefits you find out of
Right.
this.
Yep.
I think
yep.
more you would want to do it.
Exactly. Yeah, I agree. I agree with you. I think it's a similar situation. Like if you have your own child, that's when you know the feeling. Versus somebody else's child. Right?
It's your own
you have
baby.
it's your baby, and it's
Yeah.
natural connection.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? Yeah.
And when
Yep.
you earn something,
Right.
just as we have financial earnings, for example,
Right.
you can feel it, perceive it. Oh, I have so much of bank balance.
Right.
It's your financial earnings.
Right.
When we meditate every day and see, yes, this is my spiritual wealth,
Mm.
it's
Yep.
also palpable. Most people say, I didn't see what did I earn after so many years of meditation practices.
Mm.
But a true spiritual man will feel it. Yes, this is me.
Mhm.
This is my strength.
Mhm. 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 There is an event coming up in New Jersey, I
Oh
believe.
yes, yes.
Can we
it's on
talk about that a little
25th.
bit?
It is in New Jersey Performance Arts Center in Newark
Okay.
on Saturday 25th,
Okay.
starting at 4 p.m.
Okay. And how anyone, everybody is
They're all
invited.
welcome. They're all welcome.
They are all welcome.
Welcome, yes,
No registration required. Nothing.
Just come on down, I would say.
Yeah.
Just come in.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
there are I believe that there are some musical part of the program of
Yes,
meditation. and all that
there
kind of
will
thing.
be
Right.
Shashank, the flutist. I mean,
Flutist, right? Yeah.
he's
Mhm.
great, I would say. He's one
Mhm.
of the most
Mhm.
leading
Mhm.
guy in South Indian flute. I think
Mhm.
he's number one, I would say, in South Indian classical flute
Mhm.
player. Yeah. But he
Mhm.
plays North Indian flute as well, see.
Right.
Yeah. Then we have Dr. Nandi,
Mhm.
well-known as a consultant, I would say, on meditations and things like this.
Mhm.
Also, there will be presence of Mrs. Gabby Bernstein,
Mhm.
who will be talking on this meditation benefits of it.
Mhm.
And of course, if you have any questions, you can bring those questions in person. I will be there conducting the relaxation and transmission aided meditation that we talked about,
Mhm.
which will be done very systematically for about 30 to 45 minutes.
Mhm.
And after that, if anyone has any questions regarding the whole thing, I will be open to all answers.
Well, Kamlesh bhai, thank you so much for your time today. Really
Thank you, sir.
appreciate
Thank
it.
you. It's my pleasure.
For giving
Alice.
us the wealth of knowledge about
Thank you.
spirituality, religion, meditation, and so I've learned a lot too. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us today. You can watch our prior shows on YouTube at youtube.com/Infosys International. That's again youtube.com/Infosys International. Until next time, have a great week.
Thank you. Pranam, sir.
Pranam.
Thank you.